everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube, or welcome back if this is your 11th High School Musical, the musical, this series, Season 2 episode review. We made it, the penultimate episode of the season. We have arrived at showtime, and this was a very... I shouldn't be really judging him since I literally reviewed this kind of format last season with the actual play with High School Musical. This time around, it still felt a little weird for me because I was so used to like the storylines, the drama, everything going on behind the scenes that it was kind of really weird to get beat back in front of the scenes with the finished play, hopefully the finished play. They were smart enough once again to divvy the play into two acts like they did with last season. Mostly, this was definitely minor sprinkling of like stuff to set up for season 3, and mostly just kind of like there's definitely not a sense of finality of a end with most of the storylines this season. I think that I'm really hopeful they're going to come back for season 3, because this episode for the most part definitely is morely like, hey, we're setting things up for season 3 than just being able to just wrap up all season 2 stuff properly. And considering that they're all under contract and Disney Plus is kind of like, still like in the early stages, so like 99% of their shows are going to get renewed. Okay, not 99%, maybe like 90%. It's going to remain a given. But I think this was still an entertaining episode. I don't believe it was the best overall. It wasn't. I will give kudos to the performances with now we're actually in the play. We're actually getting to all the fun musical stuff we've been setting up for the past 3 months now, which is kind of crazy because like 3 months ago I was literally beginning the review and I'm like, oh, July seems so far away. It'll be a while before we get to the end, and here we are. We're like, next week it'll be the finale, and then we'll be done with another season. So with that being said, let's go through the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of HSM TMTS. So we begin. So honestly, my first arc of disappointment was that we didn't really get much of a after effects of Ricky and Ashley's accident. We didn't really get that. We didn't see the reaction. We didn't see what the ramifications were. We just get a 2 weeks time skip where Ashley's is good, and then Ricky's just got a sprained ham. That's basically it. He's got to wear a cast, and that's basically it. And I'm like, okay, so in reality, unless they're going to do something in the next episode, this really didn't really serve anything, really, in my opinion. It didn't really do much at least for me as a viewer to fully grasp it, at least in my opinion. Nini's walking around the set to all the crew members, all the cast members, everyone getting like a congratulatory note. Just like, hey, we're in the showtime. Let's read this after the whole play's done, that sort of thing. Obviously, of course, a little bit of awkwardness comes around when it's Nini's turn to give Ricky one. Nini claims she had written a note for Ricky. And I do not know what the fuck is wrong with my camera tonight, because literally it keeps disconnecting every 5 minutes. So I apologize. You'll see the thumbnail come in and out this week. And once again, the camera just great. The camera has now officially stopped bumming. I don't really get it. It's like the wires. If you want to understand behind the scenes lingo, I apologize again. I might edit this out. I might not, depending on what the heck is going on with this. I'm really confused. Great, just great. No, because here's the problem. So like when I'm recording all of this on OBS. So the problem is that once there's a little bit of an error message that doesn't even indicate I can even connect to this camera device anymore, it just makes it difficult for me to like actually get back to it. So I'm gonna try one more quick thing, otherwise it's gonna be an audio episode mostly, and I think it's gonna be an audio episode because the cable doesn't work. Great, and I could run and get another cable, but the program's already. Anyway, I give up. We're gonna do this old-fashioned way. I'm gonna sit down and just talk about the episode, not on camera. And I'm like, damn, I did my hair for everything. Damn. There's always something with this show. Anyway, moving back onwards. So we begin with. No, not begin. We resume with just everything going on. Gina and EJ are very excited that they're about to have their first unofficial date, because EJ refuses to acknowledge it's a date because he doesn't want to put too much pressure on it. But for Gina, she's definitely considered that, yeah, this is a date. This definitely is a date. Big Red is getting very much, what's the terminology? Stage fright, and he's throwing up everywhere, and like there's a Pet Smell Bismo reference, and I'm just thinking, I just had a conversation about that with someone recently, and I'm just like, oh my god, that was hilariously timed right there in my life. And yeah, other things are happening. Benjamin is once again behind the scenes again for the musical, not the play, and what's really cool is that, yeah, Benjamin's definitely doing this because he does have feelings for Jen, but however, Jen is, scanning that line between, yeah, she's not into Zach anymore, but then there's Ricky's dad, of course, obviously, they still have feelings there, but they can't really enact on anything until after Ricky's graduated, but Benjamin's there, but, obviously he's being played second fiddle, and it's also inappropriately timed when Ricky's dad shows up, but however, he was there just to deliver flowers for him, and he couldn't find Ricky anywhere, so he gives it to Miss Jen. Obviously, no one's going to suspect anything else from the situation, but that's beyond the case between you and me. Everything's in place. The Mankeys guy shows up in a similar fashion to the High School Musical 3 Juilliard School representative spot. I think it's almost the identical spot in my opinion. I could be wrong. What else happens? I think there's a scene where so Lily's there too. She stops by to Ricky, and I know okay, this woman is an actress by heart. I definitely know for a fact she does not like Ricky. She has something more ulterior up her sleeve. But however, it seems like it's genuine. And then when Ricky sees his dad and Miss Jen back together, well, not back together, but just in the same spot together, it doesn't really sit well with him. So, hold on. Damn, my brain is exhausted. I'm so sorry. I had a long. Okay, damn. But I know something was wrong. Something was definitely wrong here. Lily is up to no good as always, but we don't have a faintest clue yet. More on that later. I believe that the other important thing to know before we hit into showtime is that last night was North High's presentation of Beauty and the Beast, and everyone's just clamoring that, yeah, they're gonna lose by a long shot. It was basically Broadway meets James Cameron, and I'm thinking, damn. I am so thankful. I'm pretty sure that we didn't see that showcases because this show's budget could not afford doing 2 productions of Beauty and the Beast. But with that being said, we get started on the show, and I'm not surprised that the way they do this. For me, I would have loved it if we had just gotten a near full recreation of Beauty and the Beast in their style, but of course, obviously they're not going to stretch it to 3 episodes. They have other stuff to write. It's just, for me, it just felt a little bit off-putting, but that's my opinion in the end. So the play starts up, everything's going pretty well. I believe the first number we get to see is Be Our Guest, and that was pretty nice to see. Everyone's participating. It's kind of weird that EJ is not, he's in the Gaston outfit, but he's rarely participating. But regardless of that, they did a really solid first visual showcase for us as viewers. The only other sort is that it's kind of, no way. Oh no, I completely omitted that they did do the opening the opening part where the Beast gets transformed into the Beast, and it was actually a pretty powerful scene. Well, not really powerful scene. I'm pretty sure it is powerful in the movie, but in the show, they did a pretty good job interpreting their own version of it. So it definitely sets up the right footing there. And damn, what else happened? Because the thing is that the play comes in and out, so it's I'm trying to remember where the heck these interactions fit into place. I know eventually they take a little bit of an intermission to kind of get things back in order. This is when EJ and Gina have another flirty moment, but Gina gets disappointed again that her mom isn't going to show for the play, but she did send her a surprise guest as a kind of hey, I can't make it, but I have someone else that could make it for me. And it turns out to be her brother, played by none other than Jordan Fisher, which I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. I just saw him the last 3 weeks on The Flash, so this was probably like Jordan Fisher's biggest week in like television, because like he was on the Flash finale this week, and now he's on the High School Musical penultimate episode. It was actually pretty cool to like get to see him. Like, I was honestly genuinely surprised, and I'm like, I would not have recognized him had I not just seen the Flash. Like, I know he's been in a ton of Netflix young adult films, all the romantic comedies. I know he's in those. But for me, I was very much unaware that he was going to be in this show. This was a very well-kept secret that I'm pretty sure only like a handful of actors knew. But I'm like, this was very cool as a cameo. Well, not really a cameo, more like a special guest star. And the only takeaways that we take from his role is that we only get 2 major scenes with him. Is that one, he's just talking to Gina, catching up, and like he's like a big shot producer now. He wishes that he was up in actually making the art, but he's really producing the art. But you know, he's just taking steps in his career, and this is just another step for him. Hopefully he'll be there someday. And he wishes he was around more for Gina, but he can't because he's got a super busy life back in LA. But Gina understands that they're both trying to reach their dreams, and sometimes that distracts them from everything else. But hopefully someday down the line they'll be able to make it up. Sadly, this was. I kind of thought for a second that he was going to take her away from EJ, but like no, he's got to take a flight out. Literally, as soon as the play's over, he's got to head back off to LA for a thing. But they leave it off there. But then later on, when I think it was either another intermission, they had a lot of intermissions in this play. To be honest with you, it was going to be So EJ's just walking out, and then he runs into him, and they were just talking. However, the interaction that would happen is that he mentions that, you know, I'm so thankful, you know, that you're there for Gina as a big brother, which kind of scares off EJ. Is like, wait, I'm romantically interested in Gina, and she considers me her big brother. And I'm pretty sure that like something was lost in communication, or maybe he was just playing the defensive bro. I really don't know what the stand is. It could just be a miscommunication at the end of the day, but it definitely does not sit well with EJ, and he starts walking off as soon as he leaves. So besides that, yeah, Big Red's still around. Courtney's getting weird vibes off Howie, since like even after some of Courtney's solos during the last musical number, he was a bit off-put. I have a feeling that it's probably that he's scared that his school's gonna lose at the end, but at the same time, it could just very well mean that like something else is wrong. Maybe he's feeling guilty about something, but we don't know exactly what that means just quite yet. Also, yeah, Carlos was acting weird throughout the episode. I think his makeup was just very sensitive, so he couldn't really... I really don't know what was up with Carlos this week. I really don't know. It could be something. Who knows? I'm trying to think of what other... Yeah, they do they do this... Again, once again, if you're unaware, for the 11th week in a row, I have still not yet seen Beauty and the Beast. It's been a very long week for me. I apologize. It was pretty stressful. Some stuff happened. I'll hopefully talk about it someday in the future, but... And right here, right now, I just completely forgot to watch it. Hopefully, I will get to view it before the finale next week. But I'll be honest with you, if I haven't done it in the last 11 weeks, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get to it in the 12th week. But we'll see when we get to that point. So, continuing onwards, I believe we... Is there anything else dramatic that happens here? Because I'm sure... Like, there was like a weird moment where like Benjamin gets a call from somewhere, and then... Gina looks at EJ pretty funny. Howie's feeling guilty. For some weird reason, Ricky's just looking at Lily from afar. Like, kind of thinking, like, maybe this could be a new thing down the line, but however, we'll get to more of that. Chance ruin it in just a moment. And also, I just remember, Nene was delegated to a fork at the end. She was delegated to a fork, because the Rose song was completely gone. They couldn't use it, otherwise they were going to get kicked out of the whole thing. So she's a fork. She was a fork throughout the entire run, and I'm just laughing my ass off, but what can you do? What can you really do? Also, Ashley killed it as Belle. Not surprised. She really killed it. Even she got a little bit of anxiety during the halfway mark of the episode, where she had also watched North High's performance, and she was very flabbergasted how superbly well Lily did as the role. So now she's kind of feeling second judged that like she might not be able to reach that height. But thankfully, Nene manages to kind of snap her out of it and brings her back. But I believe the last crucial thing to end off this episode was when they're about to, like, the orchestra is like, moving along the same tune over and over again. It's like something's wrong behind the scenes. And supposedly Ricky's new harness they bought for the big transformation scene is missing again. So everyone's scrambling, everyone's looking for it. And this was also after a moment where, like, it seemed like Miss Jen got a notice from the judge that, like, there's a good chance they might win in the end. And she was very happy, and she was like, we need to win this. And she literally suggested for Ricky to jump off from a high spot and just do the thing. And I'm just thinking to myself, that was a rude thing to say, and you got to be very... I know it's a stressful moment, but, like, be very selective with your words here. She runs off. Ricky is starting to feel second just like this is the second play where shit goes wrong in the second act, and Needy starts trying to calm him down, like, hey, this time will be different, don't worry about it. And everyone just continues scrambling for the harness. And they're really unsure what they're going to do. And they initially just, I think they begin formulating, hey, let's just do the other plan we had in mind when we were doing this a couple weeks ago. But however, to make things even more devious, of course, obviously, hashtag Joe was right. Lily is the one revealed to have taken the harness. How does she do it? How does that affect the cast? How does that go forward for the Wildcats as they reach the second half of this play? We will find out next week on the season finale of High School Musical, the musical, this series, and that wraps up this episode. So, again, I was not a big of a fan that they really just, like, swept under the rug Ricky's accident. That it was just like, it's a sprain at the end. Like, they set that up for clickbait, in my opinion. The Jordan Fisher cameo, very awesome, very cool, very nice to see him. Definitely kind of shakes things up a little bit in EJ and Gina's eventual romantic ship. Hopefully they pull it off at the end. I'm pretty sure my theory is that Howie was the one who stole the harness, and he was feeling very weird and jittery because he's feeling really more guilty that, like, Courtney gave him another chance, and then immediately he backstabs her. So that's my theory on it. I really don't know for sure. We'll find that again. Hopefully all this will be answered next week. And hopefully once Ricky finds out that Lily was the one who stole the harness, that will definitely mean, like, there is no chance of anything, and he's going to strictly be Team Nene forever, hopefully. But we'll see how that goes. So for me, honestly, I'm going to give this episode 1.5 thumbs up. I still really enjoyed it. I definitely think they had a couple missteps with this episode, especially as we're, like, really at that crucial point. Like, here it is. We need to get everything wrapped up and ready to go for a season's finale. So, yeah, that was that's my thoughts. So let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this week's episode of High School Musical, the musical, the series? I'm always open to conversation down below, guys. So please leave a comment and we will talk. So I think that's going to do it for me tonight, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's in the Tube from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the second season of High School Musical, the series. If you want to know what we're doing overall, What's in the Tube besides our HSM reviews, we are currently doing Walker episode reviews each and every Friday mornings after brand new episode on Thursday nights on the CW or free the next day on the CW app. Because this week specifically, we did a first impressions and Walker at the same time, and also that we are going to be taking off next week. There'll be no first impressions, no quick impression, because Walker is on break because of the Olympics. So we will return with Walker in about a couple weeks for the finale for that show. But we will come back, of course, obviously, if you don't care about High School Musical, you're in luck, because next week is our season finale review. I will be trying to get that up early as possible because I literally have something to do on that Saturday. So I probably will not get around to doing it until, like, very late. So I apologize if the energy that episode is like, I'm going to do my best. I will do my best, but it's going to be a very long day for me. So I'm giving you a heads up on there. But after we're done with the episode reviews, the week after that, on the August 7th, we're going to be doing our season 2 review. No spoilers for anyone who has not yet seen any episode in the second season. And then the week after that, on the 14th, we'll be posting our season 3 predictions video, which hopefully by then we would have gotten the confirmation that, like, yes, we are getting a third season. This is when we're going to somewhat see it in 2022. But so that's kind of the rough plan, wrapping up our High School Musical month. So, not High School Musical, our High School Musical run. But again, if you're unaware, this has been What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see more of us, please subscribe to ActionX on youtube.com/ActionX videos. Like, favorite, share this review if you want to. But if you haven't noticed, sharing is always for free on the internet. It helps us out, beat up the YouTube algorithm, and I completely butchered my fucking exit outro, so I apologize there. Also, I apologize for my language. Ring that bell for notification when our next review is up, which is normally each and every Saturday mornings. And follow us on social media, including our brand new Instagram page. So check us out there. So with that being said, guys, until then, for all you members of the Wildcats, I'll see you all next week for the season finale of High School Musical. But until then, stay safe out there. Be good to each other. Again, I apologize for the camera issues this week. I really do. We'll hopefully we'll be back up to normal next week. But until then, peace out.